So, yesterday, or about 10 seconds ago, as it is for me, we dealt with the positives from the game. And they were plentiful and they were numerous. But the positives of a 3-1 loss, basically. And it's something that there's nothing wrong with losing to Manchester United. Let's get that right. As I record this now, I'll even refresh the browser. As I record this now at, let's see, 2:30 on Sunday. So it's Leicester drawing 0-0 at the moment with Sheffield United. You would imagine that will finish as a Leicester win. So as the table is at the moment, which basically the teams above us are Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Leicester, Man U, Man City. That's subject to change, obviously. There's no embarrassment in being 7th in the league and losing to Manchester United. Let's get that straight. However, we did manage to clutch defeat from the jaws of victory. There's no doubt about that. And if what we're going to do is sit down here and blame it all on VAR, then we're going to be sat here in future blaming more stuff on VAR, which will probably happen because VAR is an absolute shower. It really is. However, that's not why we lost the game. And if we don't address the reasons why we lost the game, we won't move up. Now, do we have to move up? I think we're a top 10 team. I think that's miraculous. I think it's absolutely brilliant. But it's fine margins to get to the next level. You saw those fine margins in the game. Did Manchester United attack more than us? No, they didn't. Were they more impressive than us overall? Not really. It was that final thing, that final pass that you paid a big money for, as we discussed yesterday. The final little chipped finish, the curled finish, the wonderful bit of skill from Mason Greenwood. Just brilliant. I mean, absolutely. Do you know what? That I'll take. I'll accept that. Someone like in the Aston Villa game, someone falling over and then conceding a free kick and then them scoring. No, I can't. I can't stomach that. But actually, brilliance like that, fantastic. Greenwood, I think was a wonderful, wonderful goal. And I'm as an England fan delighted to see it. I hope he gets back into the squad soon. But it's that final little bit that we're missing, and that's what takes you up to the next level. Now, we've got no right to be at the next level, by the way. We don't spend enough money. Our players aren't good enough. Do you know what? We are where we are. We're at whatever. We're a top 10 team, and I think the players that we've got, it's a miracle that they've got up to that point. But this is what I was feeding into what I was talking about a little while ago, which was I think David Moyes is a little way off his team. Because it is that final pass, that final shot, and that final bit of quality which takes you to that top level, which takes you to that top bit. I'm looking at Leicester now. I don't know what the result's going to be. As I say, it's 0-0 at the moment. That final beautiful, incisive pass is going to be played by Tielemans. Look, I know we beat Leicester already this season. I'm not saying we can't beat those teams. I'm just talking about a bit of top quality. That had a chance Jamie Vardy would have finished. You just know that was going to happen. That there are other. There are other players who would have. I'm going to get onto Fornals. It's funny actually. I hesitated then because I feel a bit bad for saying it. Because I love Fornals. I really do. I love his endeavour and I love his work rate and I love what he's brought to West Ham. You've all heard the story about what happened at Oxford. I've sold it enough times, I'm not going to say it again. He impresses me. His character impresses me. His work rate impresses me. And sometimes his play impresses me. I think he's technically, he's okay. He's probably one of our better players, although not technically he's not up there with the very best. He's not in the top 3 or 4 technical players at the club. I don't think that. I also want to make this clear because I'm getting a little bit tired, I've got to say, of saying something and then people taking all the detail and nuance out of it and then it being claimed that I've said something else. I'm not saying Fornals out, right? Okay? I'm not. I think I desperately want him to remain a member of the squad. I want him to play quite a lot in the first team. Okay? But I do think for now, I'll take him out of that position. I want to see him used more in central midfield, by the way. That's what I want to see. But in the formation that we're playing... Oh, Leicester have gone 1-0 up. There we go. Isn't that funny? It's funny because you're watching it a day later. You already know the score, don't you? Yeah, they have. They have gone 1-0 up. Let's have a little look. I'm interested. A Perez, there you go. What was I bloody saying? I've lost my train of thought now. 4-0. Sorry. There you go. I shouldn't look at the screen. I'm not going to look at the screen anymore. I think you should play in midfield a little bit more. But in terms of the formation that we're playing, I want to take him out and I want to put Benrahma in. And the reason I want to do that, it's obvious. It's obvious why I want to do it, but I am going to explain myself anyway. I don't think Moyes is changing this formation. The reason I don't talk about Moyes changing the formation to suit Sebastian Haller, the reason I don't talk about Moyes changing the formation to suit different players, be it Benrahma, be it Sebastian Haller, be it Felipe Anderson, is because I don't think he will. I have enough evidence in front of me now to suggest that David Moyes mostly will play whatever the formation is. The 5 at the back, the 3 at the back. The Jack Jones up front formation is what we're going to be playing. Although I would say during Man United game, there wasn't an awful lot of Jack Jones up front. There was a lot of support coming into the box. But when that support comes into the box, then you want that final bit of quality. And I do believe the final bit of quality, we actually did see it from Benrahma. There were two. Number one, I mentioned yesterday when I spoke about Bowen getting into the box. Important when you're about a metre outside the box. It's important to get into it, to try and not to dive and win the penalty. But if something doesn't happen, and yet they do mistime the tackle and they hack you down, then it is a penalty rather than a free kick. I love that Benrahma does that. Benrahma always seems to be aware of where he is and he wants to then get in the box. He's got such quick feet, such an agile change of direction. He's going to cause nightmares, he's going to cause bother for defenders. But what I did love was not only the vision, and I do think Fornell sometimes has vision. We're going to get into a point in a second where he had no vision, by the way. We're going to get into a massive schoolboy error that cost us the first goal. But when Benrahma tried to curl, tried to shape that one over that went just over, there aren't too many players that would try that. Actually, Antonio would try that a bit, go into orbit, wouldn't it? But you could tell he wrapped his foot around the ball. There was curl. There was, I say precision. It was over, but you could see what he was trying to do. He had the confidence to execute. He had the vision to try and execute it, and you could just see that the lad has got ability. And I think yesterday I spoke about West Ham being on the front foot and attacking on the front foot. We saw it against Man U, we saw it against Leicester, we saw it against Wolves. I like us when we're on the front foot, but if we're going to be on the front foot, and we are going to get into the box more often than we did against Aston Villa and some other teams, then you need that bit of quality, you need that bit of flair, you need that bit of flamboyance. And we saw it with Lanzini's goal, of course. And for that reason, I'll be playing Benrahma ahead of Fornals there. It's now time. I think he's been eased in. I think he's got fit. My big worry when we saw Benrahma against Aston Villa was he changed formation. He was played on the left side and he spent most of the half defending. I don't want to see him defending. That's why I don't want to see him taken out for Masuaku. That's why I want to see Fornals taken out and Benrahma put in there, because at least he's not going to spend the whole time defending, okay, or whatever. It's not the whole time, but 35 minutes out of 45 minutes is a significant time to be defending. I do not want to see Benrahma defending. I want to see him exactly in the position he was where he took that shot. I want to see him exactly in the position that he was when he squared the ball and got that assist in the other game, which escapes me now. I want to see him in that position. It's almost an inside left position. That's where I want to see him. And he's got the technique to bother and trouble the very, very best defenders. And I also think if Bowen is doing what he's doing on the other side and Souček's making runs into the box, I think we've got so many players occupying the opposition defenders that they can't put two men on Benrahma. And someone like Benrahma, someone that's that technically gifted, probably does deserve to have two men on him, but you're not going to be able to do that, because if you do that, there's space for Souček to run into, there's space for Bowen to come over and do something else. I want him in there because I was really disappointed with Fornals' pass. I cannot tell you, it really annoyed me. That probably made up 50% of my annoyance when I did the review after the Man U game. Fornals got the ball. Haller was offside. He saw he was offside, and rather than just turning round and recycling the ball or whatever, he got into a panic and he played it down there anyway. Bowen then chased the ball. Henderson got it. The rest is history. But it was a stupid ball, and it lacked intelligence. And as I said in the review, I'm not saying Fornells lacks intelligence. What he did when he took that quick free kick, he's done it a couple of times. Done it once to Bowen, done it once to Antonio. Really bright, really clever. But in that instance, I thought it was a stupid thing to do. He then goes on to hit the post. He then heads it wide. It was a performance of a hard-working guy, right? And he did play a couple of good passes in that, right? He did play a couple of good passes, but he made some horrendous ones as well. And in that position, against teams that are as good as that, you can't do half good passes and half bad passes. You can't have, make absolute howlers and then do some good stuff. Actually, when the passes come, they've got to be incisive. They've got to be accurate. And being able to do it 50% of the time is not quite good enough. The further up you get up the pitch, the more important it becomes to get those passes accurate, to make them brilliant, because that's the final pass. That's the hard one to do, and we do have players in the squad that can do that. It's just, by and large, they're not starting in the games. So I don't mind Fornells playing in central midfield. I think he's got a lot of the attributes. I think the work rate, actually just the passing left and right. I think he's not bad. He's not bad at putting his foot in as well. I just think when he gets to that final bit, the front three, you need a little bit of magic. You need a little bit of something else. I don't feel that Fornells has got the magic. There we go. Another negative that I wanted to talk about from the guys. There's probably two more major ones. I might leave Soufal for another game, because there are a lot of positives. He put a lot of positives into that game. I am interested to know what happened there, though. I think that is a real mystery, why he got hauled off. If it's an injury, then it's fine. If not, what's David Moyes seen? I think I know, and if you do tune into our Patreon stuff, you'll know what I think I know, because I talk about it. I talk about it on there a little bit. Masuaku is still an issue. I'm sorry. I think sometimes he's brilliant. I think sometimes he's terrible. And I thought he was absolutely terrible in that game. I thought, again, the width has to come from wide. Realistically, look, Bowen in that game played a good cross over. That was the Fornells header that he missed wide. By and large, Bowen ain't crossing though. He's cutting inside and he's taking a shot. On the left hand side, by and large, Fornells ain't crossing. I think if Benrahma plays there, I think you'll get a few more crosses, but I think, again, he'll want to cut inside, he'll want to dribble inside the box, and I want him to, by the way. The crossing comes from the width, okay? So the crossing comes from the width. Of course it comes from the width. The crossing's going to come from the wing-backs, whatever you want to call them. Masuaku and Soufal. It's not enough. He's not providing enough ammunition. Yes, I know he'll dribble up the pitch, he'll lay it off to Cresswell, Cresswell crosses it in. Okay, as a tactic, does it work? Well, it's worked plenty of times. But that doesn't mean you can absolve Masuaku of the responsibility of playing the crosses. I want to see more end products. I really do from him, and I thought he was incredibly disappointing. And I was disappointed with him anyway, and that was before he pulled out of that challenge, which was he pulled out of a 50-50 challenge. Second half, can't remember what it was. I'm annoyed actually, because I've got loads of notes there. I normally make a ton of notes during the game, and I didn't note down but I'm telling you, he bottled out a 50-50 challenge, and I was disgusted by it actually. And I remember looking at Ogbonna thinking, what must he think of that? What he's just seen there, because he's the warrior, he's the gladiator. He must be looking at Masuaku thinking, what are you doing, pal? This absolutely disgraceful. So I still think that Moyes is going to be looking at strengthening in particular area. A lot of people make the comments, we don't play another formation because he's worried about left back. I think that is true. But I still wonder if we sorted out both our fullback positions. I'm far from convinced. The other thing, it's not a whinge, but it's something to be. So I want to keep the videos separate. I wanted to praise all the stuff that needed to be praised in the in the video yesterday, and the stuff that was worrying me. It just wouldn't have fitted if I'd have said both things. Fabianski is a bit of a concern, I've got to say. I thought he did a couple of good saves there, but his distribution is a massive hindrance. It's a massive hindrance to what we want to do. And I'm going to talk about this more and more, because the more I see it, the more I want to see more of it. And it's attacking. It's on the front foot attacking. It's what we saw against Man U, it's what we saw against Wolves, what we saw against Leicester, as I said earlier. And when we do that fast distribution from the goalkeeper is key. Fast and accurate distribution. So I do think we're going to need another. If we're going to persevere with this, and we're going to persevere with David Moyes, and I think we will, and I think we should. Look, he's made a blueprint. David Moyes made a blueprint. He's got a formation that works and a blueprint which he can say this is the way to get up the league. This is the way to turn from a club that's struggling into one that's thriving. So there's the blueprint. So within that blueprint, within that formation, what you're going to do? Well, you need the component parts which are going to make that formation and make that system even better. And a large part of that is counter-attacking quickly, and and that would only improve by distribution from the goalkeeper. So I hope when they scout their next goalkeeper, if they haven't done so already, I hope when they're looking at potential goalkeepers, they are going to look at how bright a goalkeeper is in term and how good he is at kicking. I don't blame Fabianski, by the way. Fabianski is, what is he, 34 now? When Fabianski was an 18-year-old goalkeeper all those years ago, it wasn't really a facet of the game that was used. I mean, it just wasn't, it wasn't what he'd have been trained or brought up to do. But the game's changed in that sense. And I do hope that we go and scout for a player. I hope we go and scout for a goalkeeper that transitions really quickly, that rolls the ball out or kicks the ball out really quickly and accurate, and immediately looks for that counter-attack, a firm throw, a really, really decisive thinking goalkeeper. But look, obviously they've got to be able to catch the ball. Ideally they come across good shot stopper, all that stuff. But I take it, apart from Roberto, that you should have the ability to be able to catch a ball anyway. I expect a goalkeeper to be able to do that stuff, the reactions, the handling, and all the rest of it, the reflexes. That I expect. So extra little bit on top. And I do wonder, maybe just for once, we don't do the cheap thing on a goalkeeper. Maybe for once, we make our top signing in a transfer window and spend big on a goalkeeper. Maybe, just maybe, we go out and spend £20 million on a keeper.